My take with the language is it cannot be taught the way it was taught when I was a kid back in the 70s, 80s. There has to be innovation in the way we promote the language for the children of today. I'm Rilla, the director of Mini Monsters Limited, an education company that was set up to promote the use of the Malay language and to bring back a love of the language. We work with very young people, children between the ages of 3 to 12, and what we do is actually we try and create very fun content for children to start learning and loving the language again. I realized that we were looking at a very sophisticated lot of children. They are no longer the children that would wait to be spoon-fed by the teacher. They were already communicating. They can speak very well. Some of them can also read at the age of 5 or 6. The only thing is they were exposed to just one language, which is English. In order to offset that imbalance, in terms of their exposure to language, I had to look at what was the thing that would excite them most. From our observation, they like things that's moving, that's fun. When we created content for them, it cannot be content that's too far apart from what they are already familiar with. So using that experience, using the expertise from the people around me, and then rework the formula, and also really went on the ground to really take a look at what the children wanted. No point imposing on them what we think is right. It should really come from the children. We consciously had a vision of using all our content in as many varied platforms as possible. So, for example, if it was a book, how else can the book reach out to the children? In what form can it come alive? We came out with the book, and then the book went to the schools as a program, and then some of our other content actually went to national television. It became like an episodic children's program, so you don't have to come up with new ideas all the time. Actually, it's also good to work on the existing ideas that you already have. When it was offline, it was actually so much easier to do because children take very well to physical reactions from the teacher. They love that, and we love that. And I think you can't run away from having that physical contact when you deal with very young children. But having to take it offline, either in a blended format or teaching them online, posed another challenge in a sense that you can't quite create that moment for them. A lot has to come from them in terms of the imagination. I think the immediacy of reaction that digital content can ignite in a child, it captivates children in a different way. You see all their senses working at the same time, and that is, I think, something that we want to see, the good thing of putting digital content out there for children. So when we take things online, we have to consider so many other things. In terms of structuring the lessons for the children, we have to actually include the presence of the adult within the scene when we do online learning with the children, because we know that the parent would be there to assist them. And we try and stagger the content. Even those that we put for free on our official Instagram account, we actually have different days for different activities, and we space it out because we know that parents won't be able to cope. We actually take that into consideration when we restructured our content. How much involvement do we actually want the adult to be involved in? Because as much as we can make everything come alive and fun online, you still need the human being to assess whether what the child is doing is right, whether what you impart is enough. So that assessment, that evaluation, still needs human being to do the work. There's no longer that demarcation between you and me, you are the audience, but you can also be a creator as much as I'm the creator. So that two-way connection, I think, is the silver lining, because everybody is included. I feel that we need to empower children. We still need to allow children to have that ownership on the kind of content that they want. So as much as possible, we want to involve children in the actual content that we create. Therefore, you have children hosts, you have the children acting in certain scenes. That empowerment, I think, goes a long way in instilling a love of the language in them. I think we have to fully embrace new media. I think social media is a huge part of our everyday life, and especially children. Suddenly, social media was something that you cannot be afraid of, and people also expect you to come forward and actually do something. So that was a big learning curve. I think it's knowing exactly what you want out of the digital content. It should move away from just being a novelty factor, that we are here, doing all this wonderful work with digitalization because it's fun. There's the novelty of getting children together to watch content coming to life, but how exactly do you want to use it? I think knowing your why is really very important. Why do you need to have that particular content on the digital platform? What do you really want to do with it, and how you want to go about doing it?